Vă salut! Astăzi suntem la evenimentul Blackened, care se ține la lounge-ul Unico de pe strada Ghețarilor, aici pe Răstrău. Trabucurile Blackened de la Drew Estate, o colaborare practic între Drew Estate și Rob Dietrich și James Hetfield de la Metallica. Momentan a început evenimentul, mă bucur un trabuc, pentru că e și vremea spre mișto afară, aștept să vină băieții și vedem ce fumăm. Bun, am primit goodie bag. Hai să facem unboxing să vedem ce e înăuntru. Bun, prima oară avem așa două trabucuri.
Da.
E și Mihai aici în spate. Avem o dată M81 Maduro to the core. Și S84 Shade to Black. Bun, și hai să vedem ce mai înăuntru. Avem așa o brichetă, sicar. Mișto brichetă, nu? Chiar mișto. Și pe spate scrie S84 Shade to Black. Choose your fate. Mișto branding. Și încă ceva. Probabil un cutter. Da. Tot un cutter cu Blackened. Mișto. Și două carduri pe care le folosim ca să primim al treilea trabuc, M81 Lancerul. Au venit și băieți, acum revenim. Bun, trecem la Drew Estate Blackened M81 Maduro to the core. Miroase interesant, hai să vedem cum e la cold draw.
Maduro sau Connecticut-ul nu ai fumat până acum?
Ba da, și tu Black.
Și tu?
Și tu Black este...
Și tu Black e...
Are niște arome foarte interesante. Hai să-l și aprindem.
Mai apărut pe net, e un clip. Lansare Blackened, nu cred.
Au la camele.
Maduro îmi place mai mult, dar și clipul. Deși nu fumez shade în general, shade nu-mi place la asta. Auzi?
Are o tentă pe care n-am mai întâlnit-o în multe trabucuri. Nu reușesc să pun încă degetul pe ea, dar momentan îmi place. Este super bun. Mă așteptam să fie mult mai spicy după culoare și mult mai aromat, dar momentan, în prima treime, are niște tente foarte ușoare. Zici că, nu știu, zici că tragi dintr-o hârtie aromată așa, adică nu știu cum să vă explic. Efectiv, n-are gust de nimic în prima treime. M-a ajuns cam aici. Deci are niște note de oregano, efectiv. Niște note organice, efectiv, de oregano, de cimbru, de niște spice-uri de-astea, dar nu iuți. Este super interesant ca și gust. Bun, termin trabucul acum. A fost super interesant că după prima treime, unde am zis că a avut gustul ăla de oregano, a avut o tranziție foarte bruscă și s-a dus spre un gust de cafea, de cacao, ușor pământiu. N-a fost spicy aproape deloc, acum spre final devine mai spicy și mai amar, dar îl recomand cu toată încrederea. A fost pe gustul meu trabucul ăsta.
So please help me welcome Rob Dietrich.
Thank you, my friend. We absolutely appreciate the hospitality. It's so exciting to be here, to be among so many beautiful people, enjoying what we all love and adore, which is good tobacco, good drink, good friends. So excited to be here. Wanted to give you a little history about how this collaboration started. This really was a project that was born from COVID, oddly enough. because James lives near me. James Hetfield, the lead singer, lives near me in Colorado. During COVID, he was unable to tour, and we were unable to be on the road selling the whiskey. So we spent a lot of time smoking cigars on his back porch in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains. We enjoyed fellowship with good friends, a lot of good conversations, usually around a fire pit. And I had this idea that we could make a cigar together. My good friend Jonathan Drew, who makes Drew Estate cigars, obviously out of Nicaragua. I have known him for almost 17 years, and the idea started to form. And when I brought it up to James, it was an idea immediately. He doesn't drink alcohol, but he does smoke cigars. I think we've all, if you are a Metallica fan, you've seen him smoking a lot of times on stage before he goes on stage. And for us, it was an obvious choice. We needed to make this cigar, and we needed to make it with Drew Estate. This was the collaboration between innovation, creativity, and our passion. So we started trying different cigars. Drew Estate was sending cigars to James and myself. We were smoking them, keeping a journal, writing down the list of what we liked, what we did not like, and finally kind of narrowing it down to the flavor profile, which eventually became the M81 Triple Maduro. So this is a Mexican San Andrés Maduro wrapper. We also have a Connecticut River Valley Broadleaf binder, and then we also have a Nicaraguan and Pennsylvania Shade filler. So we really kind of brought all these things together, and there was no other way to describe it other than Maduro to the core. So this is the very first beginning of the cigar. We also created the S84. So M81, Metallica was formed in 1981, so it was kind of an obvious choice for us, and M for Maduro as well. Then we also had the S84, Shade to Black, and this one is the same filler, the same binder, but the Connecticut Shade wrapper, so a little bit lighter. So the way we'll describe it is, with the Triple Maduro, you have almost like espresso. You're having a darker coffee notes, dark chocolate. With the Shade to Black, this was what I would consider coffee with cream. A little lighter, something you can have with breakfast and enjoy. And this was really kind of the next evolution. And of course, tonight we do have something we'll bring up very special a little bit later, which I will be speaking about. We have a special cigar treat for you later, so I will talk about that one later. So this collaboration, James, he'll smoke cigars before he goes on stage. There are some instrumental. He'll play Orion, which is no vocals, so he'll light a cigar and smoke the cigar while he's playing, which is a lot of fun to see because he's multi-talented, as you know. And of course, with Jonathan Drew, he's just always with innovation. When I brought up the idea, I said, look, I've already talked to James. James has already said yes. All you have to do is say yes. And it was a no-brainer. He said, well, hell yeah, that's what we're doing, without a doubt. So I'm going to be here. I would love to come and say hello to any of you if you have any questions on some of the processes. But I will say it is an absolute honor and a treat to be here. And I would like to thank Unico for the hospitality and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Bun, am trecut la cel de-al doilea trabuc al serii, la S84 Shade to Black. A trecut ceva timp de când am fumat Maduro, deci n-ar trebui să-mi afecteze gustul atât de tare, că trec la un trabuc mai slab acum sau la un shade, practic. First of all, which one of these are your favorite?
Actually, if you go ahead.
Uite-te aici, mulțumesc frumos.
Thank you.
Between the Shade and the Maduro, which one is your favorite?
Almost there. It depends on my mood. I think.
Okay.
I like the Shade. That's a good cigar to start with in the day. This is a great evening cigar. I think the Shade I consider it like the morning cigar.
Okay. You said that you've kept cigar journals for 2 years while testing out blends, right?
Yes.
What did you learn about yourself as a smoker during that process?
That's a good question. I like rich. I like dark, and I like the expression of almost like when I think of dark chocolate and espresso. But I will say that I also tend to like spicy on occasion. I love spicy Mexican food.
Okay.
It's one of my comfort foods. So again, it depends on a mood. I think it's spicy. But one of the things I did learn is also size does matter. The how much time you have to be able to enjoy a cigar. How much time, it depends on what I'm doing.
Of course.
If I'm with friends and I have time to sit, Robusto or Toro, this is how we would do that. So I think with that was something that I learned was just like whiskey. There's no. I don't just like one whiskey. I like to try many whiskeys. So trying many cigars doesn't mean that this is the best cigar in the world. It just means it's the cigar that we wanted to make.
That's beautiful. As a master distiller and a cigar blender or collaborator, where is the blending process similar and where is it completely different, cigars from whiskey?
I think that the process is very similar actually. When I'm making a whiskey, I have an idea of a whiskey that I haven't made yet. I may not know what it is, but I know the area I want to start with. And so I will start with a base foundation. And from that foundation, I will start to layer in on the whiskey. And it gets to a point and I'm like, okay, it's wrong. We go back to that base foundation and then we keep going from there. That's usually where I start. And with the cigar, it was similar. What is it that I generally seek when I'm going to a cigar store, what I'm looking for? And it was a similar process, and also keeping notes is incredibly important because you can't do it all in one sitting, right? And you have to come back and you have to refer to what you've already done. Come back to what you were doing and like, oh yes, now I remember. So I think this is keeping good notes is important, and they're not always. I don't think anybody else could pick up my book and read it and know how to read it the way I would read it. And I think the same for James. I remember seeing his journal, and I say journal loosely. It was like we were keeping notes on what we liked and what we didn't like.
And when you've come to the blend how did you, let's say, okay, this is the blend I want to make? How did you realize that that's the exact blend that you've tried to find, basically?
Well, when we did the blend, we like this, and then we would send that information back to Willie Herrera and to Jonathan Drew, and they would taste. They would put together the tobacco that we had kind of compiled together, and build a composite cigar. Something that we could smoke. That was like, okay, this one is close. Now that we're smoking in its entirety and what we think it is, we need something else. We need another layer. We need to bring something else in.
And you made little changes along the way?
Yes. So we call tweaking it.
Tweaking it, exactly, yes. Yeah, very interesting. Tonight is the official Romanian launch, so the first time the Blackened cigars are launched in Romania. What does it mean to see this brand reach new countries?
I think it's phenomenal. I know this was very exciting. For me, it's very exciting to be able to extend this into the rest of the world, because something that we enjoy very much. To get the rest of the world to be able to enjoy it with us, that is just like music, right? It's a huge honor and a treat to be able to get to share it with the world. I know James was very excited. He was very excited too that we were launching into Europe. You know, we're very they love their international community and their international fan base, and I think for him. For us, it's a huge accomplishment. You know, it's something that's very exciting for us. We're very passionate about this. It was something we love to make and love to share with the world.
Were you surprised of how big the Romanian cigar community is? Did you expect it to be this big, or do you expect to have such nice lounges here?
For me, it is something that I always come with an open mind. I have no expectations until I see it. And then so it was a very, very pleasant surprise to see such a great cigar community, very passionate. So many people show up to this event, and to be able to see the knowledge that people have. You know, they're not just smoking cigars, but they know what they're smoking. They know what they want to smoke. The questions have been very, very good, and for me, it's a treat to see it, a pleasant surprise.
Speaking of the cigar community, we always say on this channel that the cigar community is getting younger and younger. Younger and younger people are getting into cigars.
Yes.
You don't only see the old people in suits smoking cigars at a lounge like this. Now you see people at the park, you see people out with their dogs or their families smoking cigars. What do you think about that? Do you think that when you created these cigars, were you targeting them towards the younger generation, or the other kind that I've talked about? Like
the target was around fellowship. When we first started to smoke together, this was based in a community of people who enjoy smoking, and so being able to from our small circle of friends, James and I smoking just together. Then the circle of friends were all sharing it together, and they're tasting some of these things when we were making them. We're like, hey, here's the very first edition. What do you think? You know, what is it that you enjoy? And I think being able to extend that, it's not just about being just in a lounge. You know, where we were smoking a lot of times is around a campfire high in the Rocky Mountains. So.
That's the best place for me to be smoking.
That was really where this was born. Was around a fire pit. James would smoke up a huge rack of ribs or something. We would eat ribs and smoke cigars.
That's awesome.
And just connect as men, because we often don't get that chance. And this is not just for men, obviously, but for men, we don't just get a chance to commune in this kind of way.
Rob, this was a huge honor for me. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, and thank you. I appreciate you coming out tonight, and I appreciate the great questions.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Bun, asta este outro. A fost un eveniment super reușit. Chiar super reușit, alături de prieteni. Complex așa ca și eveniment, a avut de toate, și muzică live și mâncare bună. Nu v-am arătat mâncarea, dar am mâncat eu în spate acolo. A fost entertaining. Sper că v-a plăcut, mulțumim mult că v-ați uitat. Nu uitați să intrați pe Instagram, pe Discord și mai ales pe Patreon. Mersi mult, salut!